Engineers. Engineering is also an important profession, and this profession too has certain challenges from the point of view of morality. These are the people who are responsible for the health and safety of humans in most cases. They are the ones who would make bridges, they would make dams, they would construct houses, buildings, roads, etc. Now, no matter whatever they do, there is a possibility that the product, the project that they are making, they are undertaking, is going to affect the life of humans. Imagine that a building that they construct has been made in a manner that is more likely to collapse under conditions wherein it is threatened. Obviously, it's going to be a serious moral issue. So, engineers have a very important moral obligation to discharge. That is, while they are undertaking their project, they should do everything within their means to make sure that the people who are going to make use of the end product that they are going to create should be the ones whose life and safety should be of utmost importance. Compromising on quality to reduce cost is therefore a huge crime. The moral challenge is that quite often engineers are provided with a certain budget within which they've got to complete their project, and within that budget is what they're going to get as their revenue, as their margin. So the understanding is very clear. The lower the cost, the higher the margin. And obviously, when you lower your cost, you are lowering the quality of your product. And by lowering the quality of your product, you are endangering the lives, the health of the people who are going to be the ultimate users. Therefore, it is of immense importance that engineers should never compromise on quality. It is also morally important that if they have promised a certain quality, then that promise has also to be fulfilled, because we have seen in our earlier presentations that if we make a promise to somebody else, that abiding by the promise, doing what has been undertaken is an obligation, moral and religious obligation, which cannot be violated. We have seen that the Almighty says that the one who does not abide by his promises has no religion. So it's a huge crime that what is promised is not delivered. Likewise, there is a possibility, which is quite often there in our society, that an engineer or an engineering firm bribes officials, government officials in particular, to get projects awarded to them. There is always a competition. Quite often, there are more than one firms which are vying, competing for getting a certain project awarded to them. And there are officials who take this decision. And there are corrupt officials who demand from the engineers a certain amount which they pay as bribes in order for them to be awarded with the project. If they've got no choice and they're not doing it to let down the other competitors, then it is extortion. It is always bribe on the part of the person who is charging it, but from the point of view of the engineers, it is never desirable that an amount be given, but there is a distinction that needs to be understood between bribe and extortion. When one is bribing, one is tempting the officials by making a payment or giving some other temptation in kind to get a job done which is not otherwise justifiable, which is not proper and legally acceptable. But when one is making a payment under pressure for a job which is otherwise legitimate, then it is extortion. Obviously, engineers should pay nothing to the officials ideally, but even if they have to pay, they are forced to pay, they must make a clear distinction between what is bribe and therefore absolutely unacceptable and what is extortion, which may sometimes be reluctantly allowed because there is no other choice left for the engineers for them to make while dealing with corrupt officials.